Chords on the guitar. There's so many to choose from. You've got power chords, you've got open chords, you've got some seventh chords, you've got extended chords beyond the seventh. You've got triads. And you've even got dyads. Picking up the guitar at first can be daunting. Where do I start? What should I learn first? Now, chords are a great place to start. But what chords? For the most part, any chord you learn is going to be useful and can translate to almost any style. Knowing that, I would say just jump in and be hungry. Learn as much as you can. That said, it can be nice to approach learning chords from the style of music that you may be most drawn to. So let's jump into some common chord shapes that you might see in some of the broad genres such as folk, country, rock, and blues. Let's start off with some open chords. Now, open chords work really well with acoustic styles, including folk music. So you might see a lot of like this 3-finger G. Here I'm using middle, index, and ring. It's a nice open sounding chord. You can also fret this with your pinky here and letting your index go. This is a very folky way to approach this chord. You'll also see standard C shape here, also open D. A lot of times we use a smaller F shape. Now this isn't technically an open chord, but it's really close by. On this one, we're only on 4 strings. And then, of course, there's always minor chords, E minor and A minor. These are all really great first chords to learn for acoustic styles. From here, you can start to put it into a progression to practice. So maybe you want to play C, G, and D, which you'll find in a lot of songs. So you got G for a bar. You got C for a bar, back to G for a bar, and D. Maybe you put a little strumming pattern along with it. Another common chord progression would be C, E minor, A minor, and F. Let's see what that sounds like. E minor, A minor, F, back to C. Okay, let's talk about country. Now, a lot of times country uses a lot of open chords, especially when playing acoustic. Some great ones to learn are E, big ol' open E major chord, also open A, and then B7 is a must for country as well. If we put that into a progression, we got a bar of E, A, B7, E to B7, back to E. Real quick, to find more in-depth lessons on complete beginner to advanced guitar learning, click the link in the description below for a free ultimate beginner guide that includes an essential chord chart, a practice plan, a walkthrough of some beginner pitfalls to avoid, and a whole lot more. Now back to the lesson. Okay, let's talk about power chords. Now, power chords are actually a great entryway into playing blues. We're going to start with open position power chords. Now, a great place to start is 2-string power chords, and for these, you usually only need 1 finger. So let's take a look at an A5. I'm here on the A string and the D string using 1 finger. Move it to a D5, 1 string set over, and then over here to an E5. all in the same position, just using my index. Now to make it really bluesy, we can add in a 5 to 6 for the chord. This is the 5th of the chord where I'm fretting. And if I put my finger a whole step or 2 frets above it, that's the 6. And if we alternate between the two, this is what gives it that blues shuffle. Same thing over D, and then same thing over E. This is a great place to start with power chords for blues. And then put these chords into a 12-bar blues form. Here's how that would sound. We would start on A for a bar, D for a bar, back to A for 2. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to D, 2, 4, 2 this time, back to A. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then the turnaround. E for 1, D for 1, back to A for 1, and then E for 1. Okay, now let's talk about rock and using 3-string power chords. Now all we're doing is taking that one finger that we're fretting and we're adding in the octave of the chord. So I'm going to add in my middle finger here to the string right next to it, same fret. We get a 3-string power chord. It fills out the sound, makes it a little bit more beefy, great for rock. So let's try this for an E5. It would look like this. You could also fret it with middle and ring. And then A5. And then a great one to know is B5, and this takes us to closed position voicing. So this means we're taking it out of open position. We don't have any more open strings. So here I'm fretting it with my index, ring, and pinky. We're in 2nd position here. So we got E5, A5, and B5. You can try this with palm muted 8th notes over a progression like this. E5, A5, B5, back to E5. Okay, now try moving this to closed position. So this is all the shape that we used over B5, but we're going to try G5, rooted on low E here, C5, just 1 string set over, and then up 2 for D5. Same thing, let's try a different pattern, maybe a more syncopated pattern, something that sounds like this. 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Great for rock. Okay, now if these are too difficult, you can always scale it down a little bit and play some easier chords with just 1 or 2 fingers. There's chords like this 1 finger C, just strumming 3 strings, 1 finger G, just using my ring finger here. We've got E minor, doesn't need any fingers, all open strings. We've got 2 finger A and A minor. You can use 2 fingers for a D to the D5, 2 fingers for E major, and 2 fingers for B7. All great options for if you're just learning and it's too much to use 3 or 4 fingers. Regardless of what genre you're into, any of these chords are great to start working on. Now, it may be tough at first, but keep at it, build those calluses, and always remember to practice chord switching extremely slowly. I'm talking about whatever you think is slow, cut that in half. Also, to find a full array of chord and chord switching lessons, check out the Chord Learning System on the Guitar Tricks platform. Fundamentals courses for blues, rock, acoustic, and country styles. All right, there you go. No more excuses, so get going. And be sure to enter your email for a free beginner guitar guide, linked in the description of the video, or you can find it on the next screen. All right, we'll see you soon.